Today I got something really special for you guys. We are taking an early look, a mod preview of the Joner 6M Medium Frame Series 2024 from Dince Modding. This is a mod he's been working on for a while now, and it's just about ready for all platforms. In the mod itself, we just have the one tractor right here, the 6M Series 185. We've got an insane amount of customization when it comes to engine, wheels, and tires. We also have weights. We have a GPS store for our system, displays, lights, animations, and more. Additionally, when it comes to the animations outside, we also have IC control in full, or you could go with regular mouse control, which is what you would use if you're on console whenever you're pressing like left bumper and right bumper and moving the left and right sticks around. The mod's very nice, but we have a lot of customization options to get through. So we're going to start there, and then we will make our way into the game where we will show you guys some of the sounds, animations, and things like that. I do want to thank Dince Modding for sending this over to show you guys ahead of its release. Big shouty outy to you, my dude. If you guys want me to show off your mod and you are a published modder on the mod up, hit me up on Discord. I got you guys. All right, let's jump in. Let's start with kind of like some basic overview stuff here. So we have 171 to 213 horsepower. It does say command quad transmission. However, it's basically available in either power shift or a CVT. You also have 285 liters of fuel, which can be increased, believe it or not, and it says 31 miles per hour. When we jump in here, we're going to start with the engine setup, so we're going to kind of work our way down. There's a lot to talk about with this thing. First up, the engine. So we have multiple different ones available in either the command quad or auto power setup. Those are going to be the 145, which gives you 171 horsepower, the 155, which gives you 182, the 165, which gives you 192 horsepower, or at the top end, we just have one, the auto power, for the 213 horsepower engine. Wheel options, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Vredestein, Nokian, Midas, and BKT. These are a little bit out of order from what we normally see, but that's okay. Most all of these have the exact same setup. However, there's a few that are missing, some narrow sets. So we'll start here with our Trelleborg set. We have the standard here, then we go into a medium tire, and then a more medium tire, a medium number 2 set, wide tires in the back, another wide tire set, but this just changes up the rims, which look very cool. Then we go into a wide 2 set, a 1.5 narrow, which was actually just released into the base game, but now a lot of stuff's going to start having it. Then we get into a regular narrow tire setup, or a widespread narrow tire, my favorite setup. Then we get into a rear twins and twins, or the rear narrow twins and narrow twins all the way around. Kind of like that setup, skipping over and then coming back to the narrows. That's pretty cool. And again, as I mentioned, you will see all of these kind of extra sets on all of these. There is one that doesn't have that. For example, Nokian here. This does not have any narrow sets. It just has standard and wides. And if we get into the Midas set, this does not have any row crops. And I don't believe the BKTs do either. No, they don't. They are chunky boys. Just to kind of showcase everything, we're going with Trelleborg medium number 2s. Here we have weights. After that, we have the 0 kgs. We have the weight holder, which is added. Then you go with a 250 or 500 kg, and that's going to be added around towards everything. And actually, when it says 500, we're actually getting a little bit more than that. So the holder itself weighs 100 kgs on both sides, and then the 250 is really 250 on each side, and then 500 on each side. So a maximum of 1.2 tons overall on the back if you go with a little extra. It's pretty cool. I like that that's separate, and I actually really like the way the holder looks, so we'll pop that on there. Then we go into a Starfire set, and we've got everything in here. So you can add just the holder at the top, or the 3000 with the RTK, the 6000 and RTK, the 7000 and RTK, or the 7500 RTK as well. But you may have noticed that there's no monitors inside whenever we do that. Well, you can add your own display. The one that you like the best, you could throw it in there from all the way down just a regular holder all the way up to the new G5 Plus. And we've got everything in between. We have the GS2 2600, the 2630 on the G3, the GS 4640, or that G5 Plus in there. Of course, we got to go with the G5 Plus, baby! Lighting, this gets pretty fun as well. So we have a standard set. We have an LED set, which changes quite literally every single light around, with the exception of the headlights in the front. So that's going to be our full LED set. Those little ones right below the headlights, bam! And this, of course, changes all the pods as well. So all of the pods are going to be changing over from a halogen set to an LED set. Looking very, very good. But this is not the only lighting setup that we've got for this, so you will have to go in and check out some of those as well. But don't worry, I'm going to show it to you. Actually, in just a second. We get over to the roof setup. This is cool because you can go with a couple different sets. So we have a standard. Then we have the openable top there. Then you have the openable top with a window in it. Yes, you can open it up. The openable top window 2, which is going to be more of a tent. And then you go with the panoramic roof in the front. So we have that nice panoramic set right there. However, I don't believe we're going to be opening that. You can take a look at it if you'd like. Warning signs down here. These are going to be UK EU style warning signs only. So just be aware of that. There's no US warning signs on this. Cabin lights, we have the standard and the premium. So this is going to change up the lights at the very, very top in the middle. Look at the RTK station and then go down to the right and the left. Bam! There you go. So it changes it from 4 small pods to 2 larger pods. And as far as I can tell, that's kind of the only difference when it comes to the cabin lighting setting up to premium. However, we do have some additional lights around towards the back which can be added. And yes, those do go between halogen and LED whenever you switch it over. And then we jump around to the front. So we have the front fenders. These are neat because if you've got interactive control turned on a PC, you can remove them individually. So you can like click one and it removes it. Then you walk around to the other side and click it. That's very cool. Or if you guys are on console or you don't want to deal with that, you can also just select them on and off right here. That's pretty cool. Fenders back. There's not enough tractors that have these options. Check this out. So you got the narrow set, the normal set, which looks perfect for these wheels. Then you have a standard set, which really kind of drops them down a little bit. Those are going to be great for wide tires. And then we have the wide set, good for wides, duals, stuff like that. That is very sweet, and I like that they've added that. Most of the time, your fenders in the back are just going to go with whatever the wheel is. However, these don't do that. You get to put your own, and I love that option. Beacon ends? Yes, beacon ends. We have 4 different sets. Right now, it's a nada. You can throw left, right, and both, or nada, as mentioned. These are regular beacons. No flashy, blinky blinkies. These are rotaties in there. Then we have the shield right towards front. Again, super pumped about being able to just put the shield on. So you got a regular holder there, and then you can do yes. Now, when we do yes, there's a couple other things that changes. The shield will actually change depending on one of the other options, which is kind of neat. I'll show you guys that. Jumping over to the exhaust, we have all black. You've got a kind of a metal tip on the end up there. Then we go with all chromed out. Yeah, you got that John Deere with a chrome. We're just going to leave it black. I think it looks good. Attachers. This is where I was saying that the shield can change. So we start off with nada, 0 kg setup. Then we could throw on 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 900 kgs on the slice weights. We can also do a 900 kg chunk weight right there. Or you could go with the 3-point. And did you notice how the shield changes when you add the 3-point in there? Changes around a little bit. It actually gets a little bit more of a modern and kind of puts a nose on it, if you want to call it that. Instead of being split, it's like, I could see this coming to life in the movie Cars. That would be pretty sweet. Fuel tank setup. Oh, yeah. And with the 3-point, you can do it with or without a PTO. Of course, I'm going to add with because obviously PTO, all the things. I'd put a PTO on the side of this thing if I could do that and get away with it. But I don't design tractors, and I think we're all pretty proud that I don't. Fuel tank setup. I can't figure out visibly where this is changing. However, we do get some extra fuel. Start off 285 liters. We could jump that up to 330 liters, and then it has big with cover. But again, I'm not sure where the cover is being added. So, hey, if you guys see, it's right there on the rear wheel. What's it doing back? What are you doing back there, buddy? Anyway, so you've got that, and then we've got front additional lights. Yes, even more lights. I will talk to Dince maybe about putting these lights close together, like all the light options, setting those up all at once, but those are added there as well. These you can actually set between the LED or the kind of big bright spots right through there. And if we go back up to the top with the LED, obviously now everything will change. So you can change that up. I think I would move a few of those things around just so it makes a little bit more sense, but you get the idea. Now we're getting down near the nitty gritty, down to the very, very bottom. So we've got the front loader attacher, which is, oh, jumped up to the top here. The front loader attacher is neat because it does add in the multifunction joystick on the inside. There are some animations that use that, but they will work without it. It's just the guys holding it and moving it around. It actually moves it around to open up the doors, which is interesting. And then we've got the John Deere one, which I recommend going for that if you're going to be doing anything. Then we come down to the very bottom, the animations. Are you on PC and you've got IC turned on, interactive control, or are you on console and you are going to be using left and right bumpers, or L1, R1, and your joysticks? Well, go with mouse control. I know it's not a mouse, but trust me. Now, I do have some good news. Though there's not a dedicated US version that is in this pack currently, I have talked to Dince, and he has said that a US version will be coming in an update. So 2 thumbs up there. I'll make sure to let you guys know all about it once we've got the information. And of course, as per usual, you've got your license plates, and that is it. That is all the customization options that we got on here, which is a bunch of them. So now we're going to talk about animations, and these are fun. So I'm going to show off the non-IC stuff on this tractor. So this is the base model. If you just go in and click purchase, this is the one that you get. Also, we are currently on Kinlag, if that makes any difference to you. So around towards the outside, you can see we got nothing around. Of course, you're not going to be clicking on anything if you're on console either. So there is that. It's a good looking tractor though, ain't it? So we'll jump in here. Going to turn it on just so we can kind of hear what's going on. So we got a couple things, and I got to set this thing to controller because I gotta pull that back. There we go. All right, now everything makes sense. We have 2 different control groups. Both are tractor, so that is good. Left bumper, there's nothing. Right bumper, there's nothing. But both of them together, we do get a little bit. So we can take our seat and go, yeah. Hey. So you can turn that. That's pretty cool. And we can raise and lower the front of the tractor. Now, both of these animations are available on the IC version too, because there's no button for either of these animations. So you're raising and lowering the function in the front, and you are turning your seat. So those are universal. Now we get into what's special. So now we'll go over to control group number 2, and we're going to start with the left bumper setup. These are going to be our doors. So we'll open those up. That has some very cool sounds on there. And also, check this out. Go in here. Now we're going to open the door. Gets a little bit louder. Not too much, but a little bit. And of course, yes, we've got that for both of these as well. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was completely closed. There we go. Then if we turn around, we actually can open up these guys. I got to remember which one's opening first. All right, the one on the right-hand side here. Sorry, guys. There we go. Awesome. And then we could open that as well. There we go. And then we've got a couple more. So we've got our rear window here. That could open up like that. We got a little buddy seat right here, which we could click and it will fold up on its own. By the way, this does have the passenger script installed, so you can have a buddy sit around with you. And lastly, we have the opening and closing of, well, I say opening and closing, raising and lowering of the steering wheel. All right, so that is your animation setup when it comes to the regular tractor. Now let's jump to the one with IC. There's a whole lot going on with this. So let's get this out and put it in an area that's a little bit more open. Got to go back to mouse and keyboard for the help input on this one. So as we go around, we have this guy here. So we can take that. We can open and close our door right here, which we got to go around the side for and click that. There we go. We could fold in the mirror, but only this one around the outside or the other side. You click it to do the other one. I gotta remember where the button is for this one. There it is. Gotta stand right behind the rear tire for that. Then we fold in our warning sign again, only on this side, not both, just that one. Then up here, you got another one. Very, very cool. Pretty much everything's mirrored on this side, if that helps you out. You got a door here. Open the door. Click that. Close this in. I just figured I'd show you everything. May as well. You'd be like, I wonder if it's on the other side. Got you, homie. I got you. Click that. Boom. See? You got the fenders on one side, but not the other. I think that's awesome. But these are just the ones on the outside. Let's jump inside, and there's actually one more on here as well. Well, two more, technically. There's a couple buttons over there. So let's turn on everything. The whole inside of this thing just glows. I have removed my the mod that I had where I can like zoom in and stuff in the cabin because I was not able to reach some stuff. Not with this mod, but another one. So I've removed that. So a couple things we can do. First off, we can move our seat forwards and backwards with that. Click this. It opens up our hand rest, or the shoulder rest, arm rest. Got that. Click that. All of the same animations that we had for the other one. So there's our door opening up through there. Up to the top, we click that, and actually the top will open. Depending on what you've got up there, it may or may not open. Of course, doors opening and closing, which is always nice. And usually this stuff is limited to having the tractor turned on. IC's nice because you can change some of the stuff without doing that. And then, of course, we can move the seat forwards and backwards. But we can also move the steering wheel in and out. I think that's neat. Okay, let's turn it on. Yeah. All right. So we've got a couple light switches through there. We got our turn signals here. Nice. We got our bright headlights through there. Over here we have our cruise control. So we could click that. Ooh, slow it back down, homie. Slow it back down. And then we've got a bunch of buttons over here. So we have the hazard lights, and then right beside that one, we have the front working lights. Behind that, we have the back work lights. And then we have the beacon lights. Whew, so many lights. And then around towards the top, up here, we have the cabin light. So we can turn the cabin light on and off, and then the radio, and then next and previous. So that is all of our animations inside. But I wanted to take you guys around towards the back. I've got two tools. One of the tools will have a new button on the inside, but I actually don't know about the other one. So I'm going to try both of these. Also, I love this tractor. I love those like super wide fenders in the back. I think that looks awesome. So I like using this to test. So this is a horsepower harrow. And what it's got is it's got the ability to raise and lower, which is nice. It doesn't fold or unfold, but I don't think you're going to find a lot of IC animations for that. But we do have things that will have animations to them. So I like having that. So now let's go back in the inside. Let's turn our IC back on, and then we'll take a look down here, and you can see we've got our button for the rear. So the rear is running, and we can turn that off. That's the rear PTO, and then we can turn on the front PTO with that button. Boop, click it. So as far as I could tell, oh wait, here we go. Lower, yeah, all right. That is cool. I'm assuming whatever that's selected on lowers down. Actually, I'm not quite sure. We got another button here too. Let's click that. Ah, all right. Well, we got more buttons than I thought we did. So we can raise and lower, and we can turn on our implements in the front and the back. So if you guys are using IC, definitely check this out. Very cool. Lots of buttons, lots of toys. It's cool, man. Yeah. All right. Let's probably take one of these power harrows and jump into the field and get a little bit of work done. How's about we head into the woods for this one? We're going to head up to field number 2. We've got a field up here with a bunch of dead onions with some weeds in them. I feel like a power harrow is perfect for this kind of job. Ooh, feels weird. I've been using that interior camera view for like the camera mod. Oh gosh, how many years has it been now? Since like 2022? Gonna take some getting used to. Anyway, let's do this. Drop it down, turn it on. Oh yeah. Looking good, rocking and rolling. Cutting straight across the field like nobody's business. GPS? What's that? Yeah. Oh, we actually don't have a GPS set up in this one. Even though, would it work? Absolutely, it worked just fine. Farming simulator at the end of the day. Now this seems to be rocking and rolling A-OK as well. Wasn't quite sure how this one would do. We've got plenty of power to run this power harrow, but I was like, well, you know, you never know how it's gonna go. We can put that thing down as well. There it is. Yeah, man. Look at that. People say I never use these things. The one thing I will say I love the turbo sound from this thing is definitely, you can tell when that engine is just fired up. Yes. Sounds so good. And I've got good news. It also works with things that have front tanks and looks great doing it. Look at this. So this has even got a front loader on there. No collision whatsoever. Everything is exactly where you would want it to be. There it is, but it's a little, the back part's a little heavy. You may want to hook up to everything. Oh no, get it. There we go. That front tank is the only thing keeping this thing on the ground. As a matter of fact, do we have the front just a little bit much? Oh no, do not raise that. All right, we're cool. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna lower that down just so we get a lower center of gravity. And drop. Really? All of that? Just wanna have fun. There we go. Yeah, how you like that? Bam. Going in the ground. Corn is being planted. It is rocking it, no problem. This says that it needs about 200 horsepower to run this setup right here. We got about 213. Figured, it's probably more than enough, right? And the answer is absolutely right. Sounds great, looks great. I mean, we are rocking, baby. Look at this. All the little sounds. It's so cool. Oh yeah, I love it. And then right up this hill, just listen to this engine. The 3D audio in this thing is nuts. So now the last thing I want to do is I want to test out the front loaders that we've got in the base game and see which one of these works best with it. We're going to start off with the smallest one right here, this 663R. And it's a little tight getting in there, but I'll be honest with you, it goes down all the way absolutely perfect. The exact setup that I would want. I mean, this is already perfection. Boom. Love it. All right. Now let's step up to the medium-sized one. A little bit bigger. A little bit wider as well, which is a good thing. The 683R. This one's a little bit bigger and actually all the way down presses up on the tractor a little bit. You could raise up the front a little bit with this and be okay, but still not too bad. Although I do think this one's probably a little bit big for a front loader. I still say I think the bottom one is going to be the one to use here. I mean, it's a 6-ilm. It's not a massive tractor. And then we've got the biggest one, which does it work? Yes, but please don't use this one. It doesn't hook up in the right spot, but it's not supposed to. Look, it's too big. Don't use that one. Your face can't be detached in this current state. Ah! Gonna delete it. There we go. So, what would I use? Well, I would use the 663R with this. I think it just looks the best. It fits in the best. Perfection. And there you go. The John Deere 6M Medium Frame Series 2024 from Dince Modding. Big shouty outy to Dince for sending this over again to show you guys ahead of its release. Super pumped about this one and really excited too. This is the first mod preview that I've been able to do for Dince. Hopefully it is the first of many. If you'd like to see more, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, get subscribed if you're new, and join the DjGoHam fam. Double check those notifications. That way the next time I release a video like this one, you're the first one to know about it. Hope you have an awesome day, and we will see you in the next one.